Before I start my talk, I want you to close your eyes and think of all good things that happened yesterday. Maybe you met an old friend, finished reading a book, finally found the headphones you lost, heard a funny dialogue on the street, or the weather was nice. Try to recall as many moments as you can. 10 or more would be perfect. Well, now you can open your eyes. So, what is your impression of this task? Was it easy for you or difficult as it was for me at first? You know, the first time when I tried to do this, I hardly managed to write 5 moments, while the task required 10. And it was not because the day was bad. It was because I noticed only what I didn't do, what happened not the way I wanted. After that, I began to research information about optimism, and I also started an experiment. I have tried myself different tips I found, which eventually made me more optimistic. So today I want to share them with you. But of course, we should find balance in everything, and we don't have to be happy all the time. It's okay to have bad days, feel sad and disappointed. It would be really strange to be glad of every bad event or failure. It's just that pessimists often think that this will last very long, but optimists know that it's more or less temporary and soon everything will get better. But why is it important to be more optimistic? Some pessimists may think that they are okay with being pessimistic and it's good that they are always prepared for the worst. But actually it doesn't help a lot in life. Well, first of all, pessimists often notice the worst only. For example, during quarantine, pessimistic people may think only about how awful it is to be stuck at home when the weather is so wonderful. They worry how long this will last, while optimists are also able to see positive sides of the situation. For example, that this is a great time to recall their hobbies. I personally finally found time for drawing and watching movies. Optimists' mindset, of course, makes life happier, more interesting, productive, and enjoyable. Famous politician Winston Churchill said, "A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty." That is why it is so much better to be more positive. It opens a lot of new possibilities. Pessimists usually prefer to describe why they can't do something, while optimists try to find ways how to achieve what they want. And scientists have also proved that whether we think positively or not affects our lives in many ways. According to the study published in one American journal, positive people live 10 years longer than others. They often feel less pain at the dentist appointments and experience far less stress. They also have better brain health and a reduced risk of death from cardiovascular diseases. So, the first tip that I recommend you to try and that helped me to improve my positive thinking is to write 10 bright moments that happened every day. It may seem easy, but in my opinion, it is a great task to find out whether a person is pessimistic or not. This exercise shows your ability to find interesting and fun moments in everyday life. And if a person learns to notice them, their mood in general will definitely be better. When I did this exercise for the first time, I noticed that I consider moments as happy only those like vacations or holidays. But it is not a very good idea to think so, because in fact such events happen not very often in ordinary people's life. Maybe 20 or perhaps 30 days a year. So if we imagine our year as a line and color such moments in green, it will look like this. You see, only a small part of this line is actually green. This is why it is so important to be able to notice happiness in routine, so that our year would look like this. My second advice is to use interesting instead of difficult. My mom likes to say this very much often when she helps my sister with her math homework, and she starts to dramatize complexity of a task. I think we can apply this tip not only to school, but to life in general. We can change our attitude to some difficulty this way. Instead of just worrying, we can try to think what we will learn from a problem. Imagine a world where you get everything you want right away. A brand new smartphone just appears in the air. A flying car? No problem. Well, at first it would be pretty interesting and fun, but I assumed that after some time we would be bored. Also, it is often said that optimists are usually more successful than pessimists. But do you know a reason why it is usually so? Well, the answer is really simple. Optimists just try more things. They are open to the new possibilities. Pessimists, in most cases, expect that if something is new and unusual, then it is bad. I used to avoid new things in the past. I thought that if I hadn't done something before, then I would definitely fail. Later, I understood that behaving such way stopped me from new experiences. So I started to change thoughts in my head like, I have never done that before, I shouldn't try that at all, to it's a great opportunity to learn something new. For example, let's imagine a situation when a friend suggests you to try a new activity, hiking or something else. What would you do? Try it out or reject this opportunity, scared that you have never done that before? A famous phrase, can't change a situation, change an attitude, has also helped me a lot when I started using it in everyday life. All situations are in fact neutral, and people give them the emotional coloring. Several years ago, when my aunt was on a vacation in Turkey with her family, their flight back home was delayed on 3 days. It was really unpleasant because she and her husband had to return back to work by that time, but they were stuck in another country. Well, everything turned out well in the end. They were transferred to a new hotel for free, which was even better than the one they stayed in before. But they could worry that everything turned out not how they wanted and spoil themselves another days of vacation by the sea, or they could relax. Well, they chose the second option. So today I wanted to show you why optimism is so important for us. Remember that how you think about events that happen around you extremely affects your life. And it is your choice to try new things or not, to seek happiness in everyday life or wait for some special events that happen infrequently. I definitely can't say that I have overcome all pessimistic thoughts in my head and now I can be joyful all the time. But I have found some tips that help me to think more positively than I used to. And they are as following. Every day write 10 bright moments that happened. Use interesting instead of difficult. Don't be afraid of new possibilities. And can't change a situation, change an attitude. Another important thing that I wanted to show you during this talk is that optimism can be learned. It is a skill like math or cooking, but if you master it, it can change your life. Thank you for your attention.